To celebrate Malaysia's 60 years as a nation, we chose 9 people from around the world to experience true harmony and diversity on Langkawi, the legendary island of Malaysia, truly Asia. How will they interact? Will they put their differences aside and leave as friends? This is their story. 9 strangers, 12 days, 1 island.
We've woken up every morning, Abby and I, we've gone for a run here, and it's just beautiful. Like, you run through the paddy fields, you see the mountains and you see the sun come out. It's been amazing. I've loved it.
When we and I run, we talk about everything from our lives back home, places we've traveled, people we've met. We talk about the show and stuff that's been happening, you know, and just all the different people and fun things that we've been learning about others in, you know, separate conversations.
In my country, I've stayed in a village many times because some of my grandparents lived there. And so I used to go there, and I mean, it's no biggie for me.
A lot different than we're used to, that's for sure. It was a shock, but we're getting used to shocks around here because we never know what's going to happen.
It was shocking for me because my expectation was higher. I was expecting to go to a fancy place, but I came here and I saw a very traditional place with a family and a farm. I couldn't sleep very well. I had bad dreams the first night because there is no air conditioner and it was very hot.
We stayed at one place, the 9 people. We still have space. And then guys have the lodge, the outside, the big lodge, and share the 5 person.
It was a bit of a surprise. Like, my biggest fear of like kampung houses is having the toilets outside. I saw the toilet that was outside.
So I didn't actually know a homestay was even a possibility for this trip. Honestly, the facilities here are kind of a step up because it actually has running water here and electricity, neither of which I had this summer. It's not that big of a shock to me.
The room is so small and for 2 girls, and I just worried we cannot sleep very well. But the fact is we slept very well. I think it's because both of us are tired and we actually feel so comfortable and feel safe to stay together.
I love homestays, and we're away from sort of like where it's more popular, the other busy areas. Facilities are okay. Squat toilets, I've used squat toilets before in China. So I'm fine with that. Shared bathroom, I've shared bathroom with people before. Living in rooms, I've done all that before. So it's like, it's not a shock to me. So it's good. I've never heard I've heard legends before, but I've not actually been to the place of a legend.
When there are legends in a culture, that means that it has long, long roots going down, and that really shows the traditions and culture.
And seeing the actual, where her house was, and seeing the story being acted out in front of me.
Masuri became friends with this guy. Her brother-in-law's wife was actually very jealous, accused her of having an affair with that visitor. She was actually sentenced to death.
So when I saw the play, it left an impression, left a deeper impression in me.
Before they killed her, she said that she's innocent. And if she's innocent, if you stab me, I will bleed white blood.
We have epics back home in India as well. Ravan is the one who abducts Sita and takes her away. And then Ram goes and saves her and brings her back to India. But people in the village start talking about Sita's character because she stayed away from Ram for so long that they assume that she must have had an affair with Ravan. Where she says the same thing as what Missouri said. She said that if I die, let white blood flow out of my body if I'm pure. Sita says the same thing. Sita, when they put her on fire, says if I am pure, I will not get burnt.
I was quite surprised that Missouri's story can be remembered hundreds of years by local people. They even, like, everything in Langkawi seems to related to Missouri. The mountains, the islands, every places we go, I was quite surprised about that.
The fact that there's also a tomb and there's the actual site where she lived, and that we were able to see a play of scenes, which was actually quite emotional and very well acted. But yeah, it was a highlight of the day, for sure.
Isn't it best of three? First to three. Galapanjang. Yeah, I had fun playing it. I didn't want to take it too serious.
When I first watched the game, how they play it, I thought it's very simple and it's only for kids. But when I played with them, it's very strategic and very enjoyable also, and builds also teams up.
A lot of fun. Show more personality. Also the game try to do the deeply, seriously, and then more enjoy.
I never participated in games initially. I couldn't understand the rules of these games. I was surprised that my crew members choose me as a captain. Actually, I should participate in the games, like group games more. Maybe I can discover my potential.
Yeah, Hassan, I noticed that you had a bit of a different opinion than from the last place when we came in.
Yeah.
And there was no aircon.
It was a shock for me.
I didn't know a homestay was even an option.
Really?
So I was pretty excited about it. I was like, oh yay, this is normal.
They didn't actually, they didn't tell us we're gonna go to a homestay. They said they saw all hotels.
The driver was moving and driving.
Yeah.
And when he stopped here, I was waiting to And then when I came here, I saw the place. I said, okay, I don't know what will happen. Maybe we'll have another dinner here and then we'll go back.
I kind of figured that they were going to put us up at one, but I wasn't expecting necessarily this. I thought it was going to be more like a backpackers.
You know, I was saying that, I was thinking, is it possible that all of us will be in the same room? And then that's what happened. And I'm so happy because even though the boys have a bigger room, I don't care. I just really wanted to stay with you guys in the same room. And
when I first saw the room, I couldn't believe this tiny room is for 4 girls to sleep together, and I feel like we couldn't sleep very well. But the fact is, we did sleep quite well. I think we feel comfortable to stay together because we have established trust with each other, and we feel safe to stay together.
With Hinduism, the reason you're good and you do good things is because of karma, because it'll come back to you.
Right.
And if you don't, that'll come back to you too.
Yeah.
And so it's out of fear.
Yeah.
Whereas with Christianity, it's not meant to be out of fear, it's meant to be out of love.
What I love about Hinduism, we discussed this and I spoke to you about this as well, is the fact that we have 10,000 gods. So you can choose who you want to pray to, it's up to you. You don't have to pray to that one god.
Okay.
Right? What I also love is that it is not one male god. We have so many female goddesses. So you get to choose whether you want a male god, female god, doesn't matter.
This is how we feel the experience, what different world, different kind of culture, also the different living with the
I mean, what's
people.
fun about going somewhere and living the way you lived before? You know, it's like you're not going to experience much if you're going to do the same things that you've done before.
So we don't have people now living in desert, but we have desert fun. We have people go and camp only for a temporary period of time. So when they go, they use, some of them, they use portable vans, portable houses. So if we need that light or electricity, we can switch it on the car.
So it's more like just the local people traveling on holidays and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's for 1 night to maximum 2 nights.
Because like in Europe and stuff, they have, you know, the traveling folk as well, and they have quite a lot of issues, cultural differences, and then people that live in the area, they don't like the people to come and stay near them.
We don't really have issues with cultures, really, because as I've told you, like, there are a lot of nationalities living there. It's been like that for a very long period of time. But I guess one thing is that, you know, that we were part of Soviet Union, right? And everything at the time was in Russian, but we have our own language, which is Kazakh language. And what's sad is that not a lot of young people, even some of the young adults, they don't really know Kazakh language, and they don't even want to learn it, because you can get by easily just by knowing Russian. You know?
In Australia, we just obviously learn English. So I don't even, like where I grew up, I didn't even know anything about like the local tribes and stuff that lived there originally. It would be great if we were to, in school, if I was in charge, if they would teach us more about it and try and, so we could learn even some of the words, maybe not the whole language, but know more about the names, because we have a lot of cultural names of towns. Like I was born in a place called Wollongong, which is in the Illawarra, and I've got some family that live in Wagga Wagga. And we have all these names that are interesting and culturally significant to people, but I couldn't tell you what they mean or, like, you know, what exactly why those words are used. Yeah. We had like Brexit, that was kind of supported by, you know, the right-wing kind of Britain First people.
A lot of people that voted Brexit, I would say, was for one of the main reasons they voted was to stop immigration into Britain. I'd say that was the main reason for a lot of voters. Right. So it's gone from one issue of just being about immigration.
Do they have to move the entire island, or are you just going to stay where you are?
Yeah, so the island's going to stay there, but it's turned into a whole big issue now.
Right.
So for some people, it was just black and white, just about all immigrants or not. But from doing that vote now, it's about the whole economy now, because UK is going to have to go out and find new trade deals now. And everything like this. So it's...
Japan's pretty harmonious, right?
Yeah, most of the time is, I think, living, good and feeling good, the harmony, everybody kind. People say that Tokyo is great, Tokyo is good, but my feeling is, it's, one side is okay, one side, the other side is not good.
I've seen those videos on YouTube where they push the people onto the train so they can get the doors closed.
In the subway.
In the subway.
Yeah, can you imagine? I can't bring with the stroller with the kids.
Carry it on your head.
Even if they're holding the kids, but I have to protect the,
You know, one of the things that I've loved about getting to know Abby is the fact that we're so different when it comes to our belief in religion. And she especially, I know how much God means to you. And so we've had like really like intense conversations and we've understood each other.
I think in China, since there are diversity of religions, like we also have Christianity, Muslim, and we also have like Buddhism and Taoism. I think like in today's China, the young generation, they prefer to not believe in any religions, and they choose to believe in science. Actually that's the government try to guide the generation, the young generation to believe.
I think religion was meant to unite people and was created so people would do good by others. And I feel like there are some things that you just don't do, and that is religion. Like, for example, like my dad always said, just be a good human being. You don't have to believe in God, whatever. Like if you, how you treat others is how you will get treated.
Like in my country, there's so much going on right now with tolerance, and It's hard too because sometimes I think there's so much focus on being tolerant that it almost goes too far the other way. Like one group of people will say, you know, we're being discriminated against, but they go so far that they almost turn the tables and start discriminating and assuming that the others are discriminating against them.
Can I ask questions about Abby? In the USA, sometimes they tend to criminalize the black people and like in the way how they frame the news. If a white male did something wrong, and he will be like described in a positive way, but if it's a black man, and maybe they will say he's did some bad things before, and he's
Sometimes, like, I know there is discrimination against minorities and everything, but sometimes it seems like the minorities end up saying they should have more rights than the majority. Does that make sense?
The thing is with India, it is the most beautiful country because it has the most amount of diversity that you will ever see. The clothing is different, the food is different, the dialect is different, everything is different, right? And I feel like it's so beautiful that we have so many differences, except I feel sad because I feel those differences divide us. You know, if you're rich, you're privileged. When we had a shootout in India, so basically these guys came with boats and they basically got their guns and stuff through the boats and they started open fire and they went to a really fabulous hotel, I think the Taj or the Oberoi, and they opened fire there, right? And a lot of rich people died. And that news was covered 24/7 because rich people died. Because it mattered the fact that the rich person died. But you have farmers who die every day, but it doesn't matter because they're not rich. You know, if you're poor, your life doesn't matter. And there are just so many of us that you're really, I know I'm privileged because I was born in a family which is not poor.
Feel the same thing in China, like the gap between rich and poor.
Yeah.
It's also a problem in China. And especially, I feel like today's problem is like there are many rural immigrants in the city, and I think they suffer discrimination to some extent. And I was one of the rural immigrants in the city, actually, when I was a kid.
So I grew up in a Muslim, like my immediate family, like my mom is Muslim, and so my dad had to convert when he, you know, was marrying her because that's just the law here.
Yeah.
But I grew up with my dad's family, which are all Christians.
Interesting.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So, like, and I get what you mean about love and fear. Like, I think I grew up with the fear of God.
With fear of God.
Yeah, like my mom would always tell me, like not to do something. Yeah. And I never understood it because every time I ask her why, like what's the logic behind it, she would always say,
God said like that.
Yeah, because God said so. Because God will get angry.
Yeah.
Because, so I never understood the logic behind it.
But I sometimes feel like I wish there was a world without borders because I feel like it does more to like divide us all than to like unite us all. I feel like language sometimes becomes a barrier to traveling. Religion becomes a barrier because it's always a competition between which one is better than the other. We could do something about celebrating these differences and still being together as one. Because at the end of the day, you're all humans, right?
Yeah.
You gotta look out for each other.
Before I start, I'd like to just tell you the rainforest that we have here is different from the rainforest you get over on most of mainland Malaysia. And the reason is here on this island, we go through a very distinct dry season. Malay people carefully dig for the precious roots. Little tiny shavings are taken, boiled and drunk. Malay people say if a man drink this tea, it's a powerful aphrodisiac.
If you guys had to choose one of us to be the world leader, who would it be and why?
I'd say Nori straight away.
Yeah?
Straight up?
Why?
Straight up. Why? Because he seems righteous. That's what you want in a leader. To know right from wrong, and to have a good respect. So yeah.
Sometimes I choose the wrong side.
I trust your opinion.
Sometimes.
I trust your opinion.
Yeah, that's true. I do trust your opinion. I think I'd say Ash because, well, you're intelligent. You know, you're studying engineering. You're dedicated. Every night you're up, finishing your papers and doing your work. Even though you're here on this adventure with us, every day you come out with us and you want to get involved. And it's no holds barred. If you're in completely. So you would really devote yourself to any task. You come from multicultural background in that you grew up in one place, but you have ties to other places, and you've lived in Asia, in China. You speak multiple languages. You don't have any barriers in terms of like different cultures and problems with others. You really are happy to be around, and you have that musical nature, which is really important for people.
He's about to cry. You gotta cry.
Oh, that's great, man. Music, that's what it is, bro. Brings people together.
I choose Leah. Yeah, what she's talking to Luke, the things is that she, think about more people than for us, and also if something happens, she think, and then doing something, talk to more and more. So give us for the direction. Also the lovely face, smiley, it's good looking, yeah. Yeah.
Second criteria of the world leader.
But I think that everyone is possible. Everyone is possible. Yeah. The position makes the responsibility. Yeah, to make the people become the leader. If choose everyone, it's possible.
I don't know about everyone else, but my toes are getting all wrinkly from sitting in this water for so long.
Or are you just old?
Maybe.
You're just old?
Do you want to go see something else?
Yeah, can we go dip in the water? That'd be nice.
We could go for a swim?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
I'm ready.